Ladies and gents, we are going to be cooking up some good times today in FM. At least I hope. This one is called the 5221 High Press Cooking. Not really sure why it's called cooking, but there is no description on the page I got this from. But from the Steam Workshop, we're going to see how it does with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. But it looks pretty interesting so far. You've got a full back line right there. So where's the 2-2-1? There's, I guess, 5-2-2-1. Okay, well, we'll see how it does. But let's jump into the Premier League and see how they did. Well, I won't say it's a massive point tally for Liverpool, but they do come in first. Of course, this is one save. Anything can happen from save to save to save. But coming in first, 82 points, 65 goals is definitely low for them. But Aston Villa in seventh with 55 goals, 63 points. Liverpool's schedule unfortunately sees them out in the fourth round of the Carabao Cup in penalties to Arsenal. They did get to the FA Cup semi-finals, but losing out to Manchester City 1-2. But only going as far as the semi-finals again in the Europa League, losing out to Bayer Leverkusen. Not great. So overall, this is definitely not a fantastic season. Sure, they won the Premier League, yay, but unfortunately everything else is just kind of down in the dumps. Squad-wise, goals, 21 is tops for Salah. That is it, though. Assists, we've got only 10 is the highest. Trent and McAllister, interesting. But a 7-3-1 for Konate is in there. Aston Villa, unfortunately, not showing much better. I mean, not even better at all, actually. Carabao Cup third round, you're out immediately, 1-2 against Leeds. They do get through Ipswich Town 2-0 in the FA Cup third round, but they lose out in the fifth, 0-1 to Manchester City. And only going as far as the quarterfinals in the Europa Conference League against Fiorentina, losing out in penalties. So overall, yeah, this is a season to forget for Aston Villa. Squad-wise, goals, 21 for Diaby, Zaniolo with 16, 10 assists again for McGinn, but that is tops and the only one in double digits, and Douglas Luiz with a 7-11. Data Hub, as you can see, this is not a very attacking tactic here. This is a much greater defensive tactic. So I guess it's one to use or to at least take a look at if you're a lower team or a mid-table team maybe. But for a team like Liverpool, fouls against per game is through the roof. Dribbles is up there, but goals, non-expected penalty or penalty expected goals, not there. Shots per game is not there. So yeah, it's really down from where they usually sit. But 1.71 goals per game, 0.63 conceded. There's your defensive piece right there, and zero point 0.8 XG against. And Aston Villa really showing no better. I mean, if we look at goals per game, they're on the Premier League average of 0.02 more than the average, but with 1.45 goals per game, 1.26 conceded, 1.29 XG against. Premier League stats, you can see Liverpool with 2.16 points per game, Aston Villa all the way down with 1.66. Most goals, Liverpool making the list with 65, which is really low for them as of late especially, but fewer shots against, 251 for Liverpool. Their defense really worked. Most possession, Liverpool in fourth with 58%, Aston Villa with 55. Most dribbles made, Aston Villa up there with 682, drawing with Liverpool actually. Best pass completion, Liverpool with 90%, Aston Villa also with 90. Most shots for, Liverpool only making the list with 464. But now let's check in on Ipswich Town. How can they do? Up towards the top of the table or a little bit lower? Well, this one, quite a bit lower. Ninth place, 64 goals, 73 points. I mean, sure, if you took control of this, as I always say, you could do a much better job than these. But unfortunately, 73 going up to, 89 maybe. You can definitely get into the playoffs if you took control of this yourself. But unfortunately, it just didn't work very well for these three teams. And that hurts. Carabao Cup first round in penalties to Stevenage and FA Cup third round to Aston Villa, as we already saw. And that's where you drop out of both. So yeah, this is definitely not the tactic we would want to try with Ipswich Town. I mean, again, you can try this with any team and see it probably work a little bit better than what we're seeing here, but you really have to get into the weeds with this. You got to get the players to fit into the roles. You got to get higher caliber players, things like that. So, yeah, I would probably look at a different tactic for this for an Ipswich Town, but if you tried it, let us know how it worked for you. And yeah, it just didn't seem to work in this save at all. Squad-wise, 17 goals for Hurst is up there, but going all the way down to 5 for Chaplin and Al Hamadi. Assists, 17 for Leif Davis. Our two star players are in there, but Leif Davis with a 7.26. Well, we're back to this screen. You can see Ipswich in ninth place with 1.59 points per game in the championship stats. I just want to see goals-wise, they're down in 12th with 64. 116 is the tops by Norwich. Very well done there. But as you can see, fewer shots against in third with 362. Most possession in fourth with 57%. Most dribbles made in second with 864. And best pass completion in fourth with 90%. And that's it. But now, diving into the tactic itself, we have a sweeper keeper in defend is where we start. 3 central defenders. The 2 on the sides are in defend. The 1 in central spot is in cover. A complete wingback on the left and the right in support. A DM in support next to a ball-winning midfielder in defend. An attacking midfielder in attack next to an advanced playmaker in support, and an advanced forward in attack up front. And I'm really wondering the 5-2-2-1. I mean, obviously you've got 5 here, but these 2 are in support. You've got 1 in defend here, another in support. So I'm not really sure why this is a 5-2-2-1, but again, that is not on me. That is on the creator of the tactic. You'd have to ask them why they did it that way, unless you see it differently than I do. But positive mentality, in possession, attacking width is narrow, approach play is pass into space, passing directness is much shorter, tempo is slightly higher, mix crosses, run at defense, be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and distribute to the back line, and take short kicks. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a standard defensive line, trigger press more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. But now, how did it do for our 3 teams overall? Not great, unfortunately. I mean, at least Ipswich Town in 9th place is so far below where we're expecting them these days. Liverpool definitely in first, but a low tally in points, low tally in goals. Aston Villa in 7th. Yeah, it just didn't seem to work all that well. Now, I wish they would have put something in the description on maybe what team they used, how they did, who this tactic is for. You're publishing a tactic. Give us a little more information. I would always love that. I love reading, why people are creating the tactics, what team they're trying to use it for. Is this for a Liverpool? Is this for a Luton Town? That type of thing. But unfortunately, we don't get any of that here, and we kind of just didn't do very well in this save. So if you've tried it or something similar, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, yeah, you got a lot of work to do with this one, with these 3 teams at least. But that is it for me, Sefin FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.